So let's learn and enjoy mathematics. Our lesson is about characteristics of the graphs of quadratic function. The graph of quadratic function, that is parabola. So let us see if the parabola opens upward or downward. If the value of a is greater than 0, the greater than 0, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 half, 3 over 2. So if the value of a that is greater than 0, so it means the graph opens upward. So the parabola opens upward. If that is opens upward, the point that is in minimum point. So this is in the minimum point. So that is opens upward. So that is in minimum point. How about if that is less than 0? So the less than 0, that is -4, -5, -10. So it means the graph opens downward. So the parabola opens downward. So it means if that is opens downward, the point, so this point, that is on the maximum point. So if the parabola opens upward, that is in minimum point. If the graph opens downward, that is on the maximum point. So the parabola opens upward, that is on the minimum point. If the parabola opens downward, that is on the maximum point. How about the vertex? So let us see based on the two graphs, which is vertex. Vertex, that is the turning point of the parabola. So this is the turning point of the parabola. So this is also the turning point of the parabola. Another definition of the vertex, that is the minimum or maximum point in the quadratic function. So this is the maximum point, and this is the minimum point of the quadratic function. So this is the vertex. So the vertex, if that is opens downward, that is the maximum point. If the vertex opens upward, that is in the minimum point. In the quadratic function y equals a, the quantity x minus h squared plus k. So, as if na hindi siya nakagraph, paano natin makukuha yung vertex? To get the vertex, that could be the value of h and then k. How about the axis of symmetry? Axis of symmetry, it is a line which divides the graph into parts such that one half of the graph is a reflection of the other half. So this is the axis of symmetry. So the axis of the symmetry, yun yung makikita yung dotted line. So that is the axis of the symmetry of the graph opens downward, that the parabola opens downward, and this is the axis of symmetry of the graph opens upward. So the equation of the line, that is x is equal to h. If the given is an equation, to get the value of the axis of symmetry, that is x is equal to h. What is the x-intercept? X-intercept are the points of the graph that crosses the x-axis. So this is the x-axis, and these are the points that crosses the x-axis. So these are the x-intercept. And the x-intercept are 1, 0, and then 5, 0. How about the y-intercept? Y-intercept, it is a point of the graph that crosses the y-axis. So this is the y-axis, and this is the point of the y-axis. So this is the y-intercept. So the point that is 0, -3. So this is the y-intercept. How about the domain of the graph of the quadratic function? The domain is set of real numbers. Why set of real numbers? Because there is no restrictions. So, lahat ng numbers pwedeng gamitin. So, kung lahat pwede, so it means that is the set of real numbers that could be the domain of the quadratic function. Or you may write x such that x is an element of a real number. So, this is the symbol for real number. How about the range? The range, if that is opens upward, so this graph opens upward. So it means the parabola opens upward, that is y such that y is greater than. So greater than or equal to the value of k. If this is the example of the graph opens upward, so that is y greater than or equal to negative 8. So what if the graph opens downward? Such that, so the answer is y such that y, that becomes less than or equal to k. So pababa naman yun. So y less than or equal to k. So let us see an example of the graph of the quadratic function that is opens upward. So let us see, based on the graph, let us identify the vertex. So the vertex, that could be the turning point. So this is the turning point of the graph. So this one, that is 1, comma, negative 4. So the vertex, that is 1, comma, negative 4. How about the opening of the parabola? The opening of the parabola, so that is opens upward. How about the axis of symmetry? So, ito yung gitna. So, the axis of symmetry, that is x is equal to 1. So, x is equal to 1. How about the domain? All domain of the quadratic function, that is x such that x is an element of real numbers. How about the range? Yung range natin, so this is opens upward. It means y greater than or equal to. So, y greater than or equal to negative 4. So, y such that y is greater than or equal to negative 4. How about the x-intercept? So, this is the x-intercept of the graph. So, this one is negative 1. So, dito, nag-touch siya sa x-axis, that is positive 3. So, it means the x-intercept are negative 1, 0, and then positive 3, 0. So, how about the y-intercept? So, this is the y-intercept. So, the y-intercept, so this is y-intercept, that is 0, negative 3. So, the y-intercept, that is 0, negative 3. How about example number 2? The parabola opens downward. Let us see what could be the vertex. So, the vertex, that could be the turning point. So, this one is negative 1. So, negative 1, 4. So, the vertex, that is negative 1, 4. How about the opening of the parabola? The opening of the parabola, that is opens downward. So, the axis of symmetry, this is the axis of symmetry, yung nasa gitna. So, laging may x. So, x is equal to negative 1. So, x equals negative 1. And then, domain of the quadratic function, despite upward or downward, that is x such that x is an element of a real number. So, the graph opens downward, so it means this is less than. So, y less than or equal to the value of k. So, the value of k, that is equal to 4. So, y less than or equal to 4. So, y such that y is less than or equal to 4. How about the x-intercept? So, this is the x-intercept. So, the x-intercept, so this one, that is negative 3, and this one, that is positive 1. So, the x-intercept are negative 3, 0, and then positive 1, 0. How about the y-intercept? The y-intercept touches the y-axis. So, this one, that is 1, 2, 3. So, this is 3. So, touches 3. So, 0, 3. So, that could be the y-intercept. How about number 3? Given the quadratic function, that the quadratic function written in a vertex form, y equals negative the quantity x plus 5 squared plus 9. Let us determine the vertex. The vertex, that is h and k. So, nandito yung h, nandito yung k. So, we need to change the sign for h because based on the formula, that is x minus h. So the vertex, that becomes negative 5, and then copy the value of k, that is 9. So the vertex, that is negative 5, comma 9. How about the opening of the parabola? The opening of the parabola, the value of a is less than 0. So it means if that is less than 0 or that is negative, the graph opens downward. How about the axis of symmetry? Sa axis of symmetry, that is x is equal to h. The value of h, that is equal to negative 5. So it means x is equal to negative 5. The domain of the quadratic function, that is x such that x is an element of a real number. So if the opening of the parabola is downward, so it means that is y less than, so yung graph natin parang bundok, so y less than or equal to the value of k. So the value of k, that is equal to 9. So y less than or equal to 9, or y such that y is less than or equal to 9. How about the x-intercept? So let us solve for the x-intercept. The equation y equals negative the quantity x plus 5 squared plus 9. So first, we need to replace the value of y by 0 to identify the x-intercept. So that becomes 0. It is equal to negative the quantity x plus 5 squared plus 9. Afterwards, as you can see, based on the given, we may solve using factoring, extracting the square root, quadratic formula, or completing the square. So we may use also extracting the square root based on the given. So that becomes negative, going to the left side, that becomes positive, the quantity x plus 5 squared, and then bring down 9. Afterwards, let us write the square root on both sides. That becomes square root of the quantity x plus 5 squared. It is equal to positive negative the square root of 9. So cancel 2 and then the radical sign. That becomes x plus 5. Positive negative and then the square root of 9. That is equal to 3. Positive 5 going to the right side. We need to change the sign. And then the rest, copy x. Change the sign of negative 5, positive 5 going to the right side, that becomes negative 5. And then copy positive, negative 3. So let us solve the two values of x. First, that is negative 5 plus 3, subtract x is equal to negative 2. How about the second one? Add negative 5 minus 3, that is equal to negative 8. So we have the two values of x now. So it means the x-intercept, lalagyan natin yung 0, yung value ng y, because let y, that is equal to 0. So it means the x-intercept are negative 2, 0, and negative 8, 0. How about the y-intercept? So let us solve for the y-intercept. We need to replace the value of x by 0 to the given equation. So that becomes y. It is equal to negative the quantity 0 plus 5 squared plus 9. 0 plus 5, that is equal to negative the quantity 5 squared plus 9. 5 times 5, that is equal to 25, times negative, that is negative 25 plus 9. Subtract, so that is negative 16. So the value of y, that is equal to negative 16. It means the y-intercept, that is 0, negative 16. How about number 4? That the given quadratic function y minus x squared, it is equal to 8x minus 9. It is not written in the vertex form. So let us transform this equation in a vertex form. So first, we need to copy. So afterwards, negative x squared, going to the right side, that becomes positive x squared. So bring down y, change the sign of negative x squared, that becomes positive x squared, bring down 8x, bring down negative 9. Afterwards, we need to write the parentheses for x squared plus 8x. And then, outside the parentheses, that is negative 9. So, how to make this equation a perfect square trinomial? So, what could be the number to be added to make this equation a perfect square trinomial? So, b divided by 2 square. So, 8 divided by 2, that is 4. 4 times 4, that is equal to 16. So, the number to be added, that is equal to 16. So, 16 minus 16, that is equal to 0. So, to make this equation a perfect square trinomial, we need to add 16 and outside the parentheses, subtract negative 16. So y that is equal to the quantity x, square root of x squared is x. The sign that is positive, square root of 16 that is equal to 4, and then square. Negative 9 minus 16 that is equal to negative 25. So let us see what could be the vertex now. The vertex, that could be the value of h and then k. The value of h, that is 4, change the sign, that is negative 4, and then copy negative 25. How about the opening of the parabola? The opening of the parabola, the value of a is greater than 0. So a, that is positive, so it means the opening of the parabola, that is opens upward. How about the axis of symmetry? The axis of symmetry, that is x is equal to h. So it means x, it is equal to negative 4. So x is equal to negative 4. And the domain of the quadratic function, that is x such that x is an element of a real number. If this is upward, that is y greater than or equal to the value of k, that is negative 25. So it means y such that y, that is greater than or equal to negative 25. Let us solve for the x-intercept. Let y, that is equal to 0. We may use y minus x squared is equal to 8x minus 9 to identify the x value by means of using factoring. We may also use this equation, this is written in a vertex form, by means of using extracting the square. But this time, we use the first equation, that is y minus x squared. It is equal to 8x minus 9. So that becomes bring down y, change the sign of negative x squared, that is positive x squared, and then bring down 8x, bring down negative 9. We need to replace the value of y by 0, so that becomes 0. It is equal to copy x squared, copy 8x, copy negative 9. Afterwards, let us solve the value of x using factoring. Think of factor that the product, that is negative 9, and the sum, that is positive 8. So that is 9 times negative 1. If we check 9 times negative 1, that is negative 9. 9 minus 1, that is equal to 8. So it means the factors are x plus 9 and then x minus 1. Let us solve now the values of x. X plus 9, that is equal to 0. So it means x, bring down x, and then change the sign of 9, that is negative 9. Second one, x minus 1, that is equal to 0. So it means x is equal to positive 1. So we have the two values of x now. We have negative 9 and then positive 1. How about the x-intercept? The x-intercepts are, so negative 9, that could be the value of x, and then the value of y, that is equal to 0. So negative 9, comma 0, and then the second one, 1, comma 0. Let us solve now for the y-intercept. Let x, that is equal to 0. We may use the first equation, that is y minus x squared is equal to 8x minus 9 to identify the y-intercept, or we may also use y, it is equal to the quantity x plus 4 squared minus 25. So kahit alin dyan, pwede nating ma-identify yung value ng y-intercept. So right now, we use the vertex form of the quadratic function. Let us replace the value of x by 0, so that becomes y, it is equal to 0 plus 4 squared minus 25. 0 plus 4, that is 4 squared minus 25. 4 times 4, that is equal to 16 minus 25. And then 16 minus 25, subtract, that is equal to negative 9. So the value of y, that is equal to negative 9. Kung titingnan nyo, yung equation na y minus x squared, it is equal to 8x minus 9. It means kung ang value daw ni x ay 0, so kung magsi-0 to, magsi-0 din to, so it means the value of y, it is also equal to negative 9. So it means kahit alin dyang solution or equation ang pwede nyo gamitin. Pwedeng itong unang equation or yung vertex form of the quadratic function. So right now, we have the value of y that is equal to negative 9. So the y-intercept, that is equal to 0, negative 9. Instruction: determine the vertex, opening of the parabola, axis of symmetry, domain, range, and intercepts of the quadratic function? Provide your answers in the comment section. Enjoy learning mathematics. I'm Teresa TUBAL. Thank you so much.